Well, hello, and I just wanted to bring you this video. This is the one that precedes the BFR, the checkride video. Now, I needed to bring you this video because there's two things I wanted to mention. First of all, what is a BFR? And that's what this video is mostly about. But also, I wanted to talk about the recent two-stroke engine won't start, three-forced landing microlight that you've probably seen, and if you haven't, in a video recently. If you haven't, there's a video link here now up the top. Bit of a story behind that one. So let's talk about the two-stroke first. Now, I have some more news about it. It was not fuel and it was not spark, but it would not go, as you would see in that video. And the reason it wouldn't go is apparently this is a common problem. Well, it's known to me now as being a common problem. The owner didn't know and a few others on the field didn't know. So if you've got a two-stroke 582 or whatever it is, two-stroke aviation engine, and it is not a premix, oil premix with fuel system, but an injection system, oil injection, you probably know where I'm going with this, then make sure you service your oil injection system before you ruin your engine, because that's exactly what's happened here. So the aircraft hadn't been flown for 2 months, and when it was last flown, it was flown okay. I believe before that, it could have been up to 12 months before it was used, and I don't believe there was a service routine performed on the oil injection system, and consequently it's failed to work, and which has then led to a lack of oil being added to the fuel in the carburation to facilitate lubrication and cooling of the engine. So the three forced landings were due to partial seizure of one of the pistons, we believe. The engine's been sent away to a friend of the owners to tear down and have a look and see if it's repairable. So that is meaning there's more news still to come about that and more information. But at this stage it looks like partial seizures 3 times. And when you, the last video, the video that I actually made about the instructor was trying to start the engine, wouldn't start, flattened the battery, it actually backfired a couple of times. Turns out one of the cylinders was so badly damaged. Actually, during that video it did run for about 5 seconds, but it sounded horrible. It sounded actually like it was running on one cylinder, and that seems to be what it was. Now, I remember that one of the cylinders measured 30 psi under compression, you know, when you do your compression test. I'm not sure what the other one was, but I know it was different. So I believe one of the cylinders, to cut a long story short, one of the cylinders is totally departed, it's gone, it's finished. It's going to need either a decent rebore, a new cylinder, piston, who knows. Anyway, oil injection, that was the biggest problem. Now let's get on to this video, and then after this video, the next video will be about the actual BFR checkride flight. It's edited, it's ready to go, it's got full cockpit audio, the instructor's in the back seat in the aircraft, and you'll see everything I did during that flight. So, what is a BFR and what is it for? Well, the BFR, or Biennial Flight Review as it's known in Australia and probably other parts of the world, is a check of a pilot's proficiency to continue flying safely. Biennial, every 2 years we have to conduct this thorough test to see if we are proficient to fly. So, anyone that drives a car knows that other drivers on our roads develop bad driving habits and reduced skills. Of course, this would never happen to ourselves, or does it? Do you believe you're a good driver, or do you believe your skills have dropped off? And if they are, how do you recover them? Have you developed bad habits? So over time, yes, we start taking shortcuts and we learn bad behaviours. Generally, you cannot fail a BFR unless you are a dangerous pilot and display poor airmanship. So this is the same with all pilots. All pilots in all types of aviation have to have check rides. Now some of those being commercial, I believe, are obviously either 6 months, 12 monthly, much more frequently. Recreational pilots a little bit less, so in my case every 2 years. Doing a BFR with an aviation instructor helps us to keep from developing these bad behaviours. It also gives the instructor an opportunity to nip them in the bud and correct our poor skills should they develop over those 2 years. So I'd rather be told by an instructor that you need to fix this skill, because it could ultimately lead to a forced landing going really badly. And as you'll see in the video coming up, well, we do a forced landing or two. How did I go? Well, we'll see. I for one believe that flight time with an instructor is invaluable, and regular accessibility to an instructor allows us to ask questions of things we may have forgotten or never have learned previously. You know, during our training time originally with an instructor, I don't know, we just develop bad habits, we just forget things. And it's better to practice the skills with an instructor in the back seat than without an instructor in the back seat. Have you heard this saying that a pilot might say, I'd rather be on the ground wishing I was in the air than in the air wishing I was on the ground? Kind of same thing applies, except maybe you're flying outside your capabilities if you're in a really turbulent situation. So even instructors do check rides themselves with an instructor's instructor. What does that mean? So there are instructors in aviation that are qualified and skilled up enough and proven to be able to test other instructors, because they have to operate at a higher level of skill and capability. We are all human, we generally behave the same way, and the old expression of if you don't use it, you lose it definitely applies to the skills of flying in aviation, of flying an aircraft. If you complete your check ride within the required period, there will be no interruptions or limitations for you to continue flying legally. Wikipedia, we all know Wikipedia is 100% accurate, don't we? But anyway, they have a brief article on this subject, and there's a link in the description below if you want to go and have a quick look at that, which helps us to define a bit more about what a BFR means. The next video, as I said, will be my full BFR uncut with cockpit audio. You will see everything I had to do to prove I am currently able to fly safely. Stalls, no power landing, climbing turns, emergency landing during takeoff are some of the examples. It's also about knowledge, skills, safety and precision. So during the whole flight, radio calls, situational awareness, what are the other aircraft doing? Are you maintaining and monitoring everything that's going on? The instructor's watching you the whole time. It's not just about doing what the instructor tells you to do at the time, it's everything. So my radio calls were important. See you in that video coming very soon. Thanks for watching. Hope to catch up with you somewhere eventually, and appreciate you watching my videos. Until later, goodbye for now.
BFR traffic, truck 6340, enters, lines up, rolls runway 12, BFR traffic.